Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the second episode of Shaping the Culture. I am Drew Muzon, joined alongside
Malaika Denise.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment on our YouTube page, and be interactive. Today's episode is really deep, might ruffle some feathers type of episode. So be sure to get active in the comment section on this one around. But in honor of Black History Month, after our meeting last night, last night we be grinding for y'all. After our meeting last night, we kind of had a discussion that talked about just Black history, not more so Black history, but pro-Blackness. And for the month of February, we're gonna be doing either 2 or 3, depending on next week. But two or three episodes this month where we're talking about some issues with pro-Blackness or just Black
culture.
Black culture. Being black.
Being this color. Being melanated.
I can't wear it.
Melanin skin. It's popping. It's lit.
Bet. This week's topic is basically, can you be black and not be pro-black? And kind of where this stemmed from, I guess, kind of our backgrounds. Growing up and within Black culture, we love Black people. We're black. So
we're black.
We're black. So we are pro-black, but in the sense of the phrase, what it means to be pro-black, a lot of it has been twisted. There's guys out there. I'm not gonna go against anybody, but there's definitely people out there, proponents of Black culture, that are pro-black but are speaking in some ways about pro-blackness that we don't necessarily agree with. So I wanted to ask you first, what is your definition of what being pro-black is?
So when I think of pro-blackness or being pro-black, I think about loving my skin color, loving people that look like me, loving the culture that comes along with it. I don't agree with, what we were talking about before as far as people being pro-black, but to the point where you're making other people feel bad. Mm-hmm. That I don't agree with. But when I just hear the term pro-black, of course, my culture is lit, my people are lit, whatever. So that makes me excited. It makes me excited to see Black people doing well, or living well, or flourishing, or whatever the case may be. But if it causes me to put somebody else down, that sense of the word being pro-black, I don't like that.
Yeah, and the same. That's how I feel, kind of sort of, because when I think of pro-black, I'm all for supporting Black people and wanting Black people to grow and excel and do good at whatever they're doing. Right. Be in the White House, have your business and stuff like that. But I don't think that pro-blackness or being with that upping my culture, that I should down somebody else's culture or be against the white man's culture or Indian culture or Mexican culture or Latino culture or whatever like that. Be against that, but with the Black culture, build uplift so we can spread out. Because I was talking on the phone to one of my homegirls, I was like, if I have a Black business, I'm a Black business owner, I don't just want the Black dollar. Exactly. I want the white dollar, I want the Mexican dollar, white man, red man, yellow man, I want everybody's dollar. If I'm a black person, and some of what we're hearing about pro-blackness is just keep it in your community, Black dollar, Black owned businesses.
It's only for us.
Yeah. And go to Black churches and just a whole bunch of stuff that's just is this segregation? And are y'all against desegregating, or are y'all for segregating? Because that's what it sounds like a little bit. It has hints of segregation. Only going to the Black store, only going to the Black churches. And can you be a Christian and be pro-Black in the sense of the word that we were talking, in the sense of the definition that we were talking about?
This is where I feel like it gets touchy, because I feel like people, I don't know, they get real agitated when you talk about it's almost like when you have your own ideals about what you are, because we're Black because we're Black, not because we chose to be Black. Yeah. But it's if you have a different opinion about your race or somebody that looks like you, it's almost like they treat you like an outcast or whatever. And I feel like that's how it is when it comes to religion. If you don't go to a Baptist church where they doing all that hooping and hollering, and you don't agree with religion, a lot of times they be they uppity, they go to that mega church. It's no, we know what we know. Yeah. If you grew up non-denominational, I know me and Drew did, it's you don't have that traditional black church experience. Now we know about it. I've visited churches like that. I've sat in services like that, right? And I can relate, you know, like being in some of those environments. Of course, you kind of know, I don't want to say what to do and what not to do, but you fit in because you're black. But I don't know, I feel like as a believer, you're a believer first. You know what I'm saying? So like all your values stem from your walk with Christ first before it is being black. So, you know, like if there's something that the black community agrees with that doesn't go along with your, you know, faith in God, then you're going to have to bump the black culture. Like that's just personally how I feel. It's like if it's going against what, you know, I've been taught as far as like my walk with God and what I choose to believe as far as my walk with God, it's out. Like, and it's not gonna change. I'm gonna be black just like I was yesterday, just like I'm gonna be tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, just because I might not necessarily join in with everything that's a part of my culture per se, doesn't change my race any. So that's how I feel. How do you feel about being a believer and being, you know, a part of black culture and like what that says to each other?
And like I was telling you last night, like I feel like God wants to be a part of the things that we want to be a part of, or that he likes to, like if you like activism and you want to get into activism and get into the community, God wants to be with you doing that and helping you doing that. If you want to do hair, you want to do whatever you want to do, he likes what you like, you know, in that sense of he wants to be a part of whatever it is that's you're passionate about. That's what I was trying to say. Whatever it is you're passionate about, he wants to be passionate about it as well. And like in the wrong sense of the word, I don't think that you can be Christian pro black. And I've talked to two people before we've had this conversation. One person said he's Christian, he's pro black, but he's not pro black in the sense of I disagree with interracial marriages, or I disagree with just buying black-owned businesses like that. He's for buying other people's businesses. He's for interracial marriages. He has his own preferences, but he's for all that stuff, and he's a Christian. So in the right sense of the word, I believe you can be pro-black and Christian, but in the wrong sense of the word, I think it just completely goes against the gospel and goes against like what, you know, like, because it's just like, it's a color, you know what I'm saying? And we all are descendants from Adam. Adam and Eve weren't white, but we are all descendants from Adam and Eve. So I believe that with being Christian and being pro-black, I just think in the right sense of the word you can be Christian and pro-black, but in the wrong sense of the word, I don't think you can, because I just think it completely disagrees with what the God's talks about, because God is all about equality. He doesn't want you to disregard your brother or your sister, just try to build up your own community. He wants you to build up your black community to be able to go help the white community. He wants you to be able to build up your Latino community, be able to go build up the black community and stuff like that, and be helping, intermingling, helping, you know, helping the world together, not just black people go to black church and black pastor, black this, black that, to build up one race, because you're just signaling yourself off. Yeah,
I think that's the key point that you talked about or pointed out or whatever, is God is for every, like God made every race, God made every person. So it's kind of weird to kind of separate yourself just because we've been through. And this is the part where it gets touchy. That's where it gets touchy, because it's like, I get the history behind it. I get that we were enslaved and things like that. But at the same time, when you get saved, you come out from all that kind of stuff. Like, you're made a new creature in Christ. So it's like yes, as a race, we do have a reason to be upset. We do have a reason to say, why are we the ones being pinpointed all the time? But as a believer first, you're free from all that. You know, you walk around with angels guarding you. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to like be afraid that the white man's going to do anything to you, because God's on your side and God fights for you. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like it gets touchy with people who don't understand that. But I feel like the more your mind is renewed in Christ and you know, you focus on the fact that you're a believer first, all that other stuff that comes along with like black culture, it doesn't affect you. Like I can genuinely say, like I go places and stuff really sometimes just does not bother me.
Same thing.
Like it don't bother me.
Like when all the shootings, and it's a touchy subject, like when all the shootings were happening, even in this city with it, in Charlotte, when all this stuff was happening and people were talking about, I'm afraid to walk outside. Mm-hmm. People were driving in their cars and slowing down when the cop behind them. That doesn't happen to me. Right. Maybe this is a special case, but I think from the teachings from being under Pastor Gould and being at that church and just having our minds renewed, if I go outside, if a cop car gets behind me, I'm confident in myself, know that I'm not doing nothing wrong, so I'm gonna go my speed, I'm not gonna stop. And I think sometimes because of how some communities that people are raised in, we look at white people differently and we get scared because of what the news portrays, but it's just like we're in the world, not of the world, and whatever the news may portray one thing, but the world, the earth, the reality of it may be a totally different thing. So I don't think I don't walk outside and get scared like that. I don't think anybody who's a believer and who's watching this, because we want to appeal to all people watching this, but believers who are watching this, you shouldn't be going outside and being afraid. Being a black person, you should be able to be confident and know and want change and be mad, be upset, but be angry and sin not, as the scripture says.
Because I think that's another thing too, when you start talking about Christianity versus like your blackness or your culture. People think a lot of times you're weak. Like, oh, you don't stand up for black people. You think everything is about God. First of all, as a believer, everything is about God. Yeah. Like, first and foremost, it is about God.
But God cares about black people.
But God cares about that. And cares about our well-being too. He's not just going to be like, oh, I want exactly. I want y'all to feel that.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Like it's like he cares about everything, but at the same time, like you have to have a level mind and level ground.
Yeah. So. I feel like when you start putting that above your belief system, like as far as like religion or whatever, you're almost idolizing the fact that, oh, I'm black, so I know what I'm doing with my life. It's like, no, you're still like just like anybody else. Like you're legit, you're still just like anybody else. So I feel like you can't put, it's kind of like what we was talking about last week when we were saying you can't put your all or your everything into someone. You can't put your all or everything into your race. Your identity, the way that you look, because that's gonna change. That's gonna fade. Like you're not gonna be a black human forever.
Our skin color isn't God.
Right.
And I think a lot of people adopt that ideology.
They worship that,
that the black woman is God, or that black people are gods, and call each other, hey, what's up, God, and all that stuff like that. Like, nah, we have God in us. We're made in God's image, so you should put some respect on your name. But at the same time, don't be walking around like one race is higher than another race. So, because
to be honest, if we're being completely honest, that's racism.
Yeah.
That in itself is racism. Yeah. No, I said if y'all got issues, hit me in my DMs on site. We can talk about it on site. Like, but it's true. It's like our culture has the tendency to get mad at white people for feeling superior to us. And don't get me wrong, I've experienced it. Matter of fact, I tweeted about it probably like a couple months ago. Some white privilege.
Talk about it.
Some white privilege. It was bad. It was like I was pretty much waiting with my friend to get something to eat, and the place that we were at, it was first come first serve. So there's a white couple that's standing near us. Well, she just kind of walked up like where me and my friend had been waiting for probably like a good 45 minutes for the seat, because we saw a couple getting ready to get up. We was gonna cop the seat and then whatever. So this white couple comes up, and it's like she almost had her eye on us. Like, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I was like, she ain't gonna steal that chair. Like, she clearly sees us in here. Because if she didn't, she wouldn't have looked at us. But whatever, I was like, nah, I'm cool, I'm chilling. I don't have to be aggressive. Like, it's fine. But lo and behold, she comes through, made some sort of smooth transaction. I don't know how she like finessed her way into the chair, but she ended up stealing our seats that she saw us waiting for 45 minutes. Yeah. I was heated. Like, I was heated, and I literally tweeted about it. I was like, that white privilege is something else. Like, I agree. I agree that there are issues. I agree that things are out of proportion sometimes. A lot of times, actually. I agree. But what I can't do as a believer first is let that run my life, because I'd be mad at everything. Like, literally, I could find something wrong with every white person. And that's not fair, because just like every black person is not the same, we want to talk about that when it comes down to, police think that we all act the same way or whatever. No white person is the same. Some white people are mad cool with, like, it's not about race. They just like you because they like you. Some Asian people just like you because they like you. And so I feel like it's much freer to live like with your, your faith grounding you and setting that tone and that foundation so that you can walk with your head up and not always have to rely on, oh, I'm black, so I'm aggressive. Like, you don't have to be aggressive. It's not that serious. Not when you're a believer, it's not that serious.
So, right along with that, one of the things that I wanted to touch on was, like, in some of the pro-black views, it's only marrying black people only. Like, if you're black, if you're pro-black, to some people, you can only marry black people. And do you agree with that?
That's for the birds. That's a dub. First of all, okay, let me put this out there, and this might ruffle some feathers too, and this ain't nothing against whatever, because I'm in a relationship, but people are beautiful. Like, people are just beautiful. Like, you could be Latino, you could be Asian, you could be Hispanic, you could be Indian. People are attractive. People are genuine. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of race. So I feel like, one, you're limiting yourself. Outside of religious stuff, you're literally limiting yourself. Not that black people aren't enough, because they are. But some people just find themselves attracted to other people. I personally don't, but some people do. Like, some people be like, oh yeah, I'm really into Indian women. Okay, that's cool. What I don't like is when they idolize that as if something's wrong with black people. But I don't think it's anything wrong with being attracted to someone outside of your race. As a believer, though, I feel like you're really putting a limit on God, and you're telling God, oh, what you want for me is not good enough. Because at the end of the day, when God is matching you up with somebody, or you're believing God for your mate, you can't be looking at color. Like, you really can't. You don't know what that person has to offer you that might help you out in the future. You don't know where your destiny is going to lead you. That culture might allow you to step into something completely different that you've never experienced before. So I feel like, as a believer, it's for the birds, and as a human, it's for the birds, because it's like, you can be attracted to you know, someone outside of your race, and that's for every culture.
And like, I've ran into people that, like, I actually had a conversation with one person, and they told me, like, if I were to get with a white girl, then I didn't not invite them to the wedding. And that took me by surprise. I'm like, how you believer, and you know what I'm saying, you say that, you know what I'm saying? And I get the whole, like, there's certain black people that just aren't attracted to white people or whatever like that, because I'm like, I know a couple of them. My roommate freshman year in college, he only liked black girls, you know, and then my best friend, he only liked black girls. So preference, but preference over belief. So if you have a belief like, oh no, black people should just be with black people, that's one thing. But preference, if you have a preference like, I'm not really attracted to, then that's a different thing. But yeah, I've actually had like, somebody said this to me, and it's just like, it just caught me off guard. It's just like, so because I'm black, and it was like, because it feels like I'm lowering myself, or going, like, not lowering myself, but like settling. Or going below myself by dating somebody outside my race. And sometimes, like I was telling her in the car, like, sometimes when it comes to certain black men who are the quote unquote Childish Gambino type of black guys, they don't get play from black women a lot. And y'all black women can't get mad at me for saying that, because you know it's true. Y'all not dating Childish Gambino.
Let's talk about that. But how, like, non-traditional black people
kind of
don't
like
get played. Like outcasts don't get played. And that's why I struggle. Like, and I'm not, like, I wouldn't say I'm completely non-traditional, because I dressed like this. I dress in the streetwear, but I'm like, my favorite show is Seinfeld. My favorite show is Seinfeld. I watched Friends growing up. Like, one of my favorite movies is like The Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, like, that are non-traditional, that are white movies, white shows. But I love them. And then some rappers, like, well, that's one of the reasons why Wale was like one of my favorite rappers, because he embraced Seinfeld, you know, and this whole Seinfeld culture like that, and some other rappers do. And that's one of the reasons I gravitated to Childish Gambino, was because he's like the non-traditional black guy. But it's just like, people were getting mad online that he did that whatever video that not made in America, but whatever video he did, or whatever, that talked about the black culture, black issues, but he's with a white woman, and people are like up in arms. But y'all went crazy on that video, and that's the thing. It's those double standards. It's like, people was like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, like, he's speaking up for us, and he's doing this, and then the minute you find out that he's with somebody that's not of this race, it automatically cancels him. It's like, y'all be double-sided. Like, I can't. But it's such a double standard. It really is. Like, I know this like a rant, but literally, like, the minute that people go off and do something different from quote unquote black culture, it's like, oh, you're not black enough.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I don't know if we brought up.
Nah, we didn't bring that up.
We didn't bring that up, but I have always felt that personally. Like, I don't know if I've ever said this to anyone, like, in my personal life. There have been times where I didn't feel black enough.
Sometimes.
I didn't feel black enough. And it was like, this is sad that I can't even relate to people in my own culture because there's such a standard, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
I think there's two sides, like, with that not feeling black enough, with that and being relating to, I guess you're talking about in the good side. Like, sometimes, like, with me, I sometimes feel like I don't all the way relate in reference to being, I wouldn't necessarily call me a suburban kid or whatever, but I didn't grow up in the hood. But I didn't grow up in the hood. Same. So you're kind of disconnected to the struggle of sorts. So you empathize and you understand why black people go so hard for black people, because you come from the struggle and you want to empower black people. My whole thing is empower them to be able to go help the world, not just to go chase a black dollar from a black person for your black business, but to chase a white dollar, a red dollar, a yellow dollar, chase all dollars, monopoly, like chase all dollars and help other people grow, not just help yourself grow. Build up the black person so the black person can help the white, the yellow, and everybody else, like I said before. But sometimes I felt like disconnected on the negative side, and I feel like that has a ploy with why I don't consider myself pro-black in the sense of just dating black, buying black and stuff like that, because I'm disconnected from that. And then being in the church your whole life and being in a specific church, like I wanted to mention, the church that we grew up in, like a large portion of it is black, but the views, if you come in there, it's not pro-black. It's not pro-black, but it's a whole bunch of black people in there, and I guess that runs off or kind of scares off other races. But and coming from that, being in that environment, and then even going to the school. I went to the school my whole life and was around black people my whole life, but I decided to go to PWI. And a lot of people gets going to PWIs and want you to go to a black institution, go to black colleges or whatever, and I'm like, I didn't. And I know some percentage of people that I went to high school with, that I graduated the same class, didn't go to HBCUs either. They went to PWIs as well. And the whole stigma against it, that black people should just go to HBCUs, I'm like, I disagree. Because when that's all I saw was my brother and my sister, I wanted to go see something else. I wanted to go see white people. I never seen white people before. Like, we had like one white student like my whole entire life, so I never saw white people. So I wanted to go out there and experience that life and experience that culture. So that was the main reason or motivation why I went to the white institution and stuff like that. So
I feel like the biggest thing is just not being like, I feel like it's okay to be inclusive. I feel like it's okay to celebrate, because obviously at the end of the day, we are black, so yes, we're going to celebrate black culture. But I feel like when you start shutting people out because it's not your experience, that's gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, not everybody grew up in the hood, but not everybody grew up in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? Like, personally, I was homeschooled. I went to public school, private school, and I was homeschooled. So I have a lot of different influences that kind of, inspire me, right? So, like, my dad did a lot of television work, and he still does. But we used to help out with this concert or whatever that would happen every summer, and a lot of the bands were white bands. Like, I grew up seeing that. So it's not even that I would try to like stay disconnected or stay whatever. It's just those were my experiences. And so sometimes when you get in a room with black people and they're not inclusive of other people's experiences or other people's like perspectives on being black, it's like, oh, you ain't black because you ain't seen such and such. And sometimes we joke around, like some of that is funny. Some of that is funny. Like, oh, you ain't black because you ain't seen this. But people who seriously take that like to heart, like, no, like, you're seriously not black enough because you haven't done this. I feel like that's messed up. So
to wrap up the How You Feel segment, in the end, do you feel that you can be black and not pro-black?
I believe that you can be black and pro-black in the sense that you are for the empowerment of black people. I do not believe that you can be black and pro-black in the sense that you have to tear someone else down in order to build up your race.
And then same. So like she said, same. I believe you can be black and pro-black in the sense of empowering others, and then I completely disagree with the pro-blackness that ascribes to the issue of only dating black, only buying black, only going to school black, only going to church black. Because like, what fun is that? If it's to empower, you can empower and bring others in and to be able to celebrate your culture. But what fun is that if I'm just enjoying it with my sister? I want to be able to enjoy it with sisters of another race, brothers of another race, and things of that nature. To end the show, we hope you guys enjoyed Shaping the Culture episode 2. We had fun making it. Yeah, definitely be on the lookout for more episodes this month that kind of touch on the pro-blackness topics, and hope we didn't ruffle too many feathers, but I think it was kind of it was our honest opinion. We kept it not biased, but
100.
We kept it 100. We saw both sides, we looked at both sides. We shared our opinion. It's healthy to have healthy discussions like this. Hopefully in the future, maybe we may even have somebody who is pro-black or whatever like that on the show.
I would love to do that. Cause like I hope we did ruffle feathers.
a little bit because I would just
it
get
is different perspectives. Yeah, like, and it's like nothing that we said was to be like mean or to put people. Like, that's just an opinion, and I feel like we're grown enough to be able to say I have a differing opinion than you. So like, I hope we did ruffle feathers, and I want to know in the comments tactfully. Yeah. Respectfully, because that's one thing. We're
not gonna get dislikes on the video, but just like respectfully, definitely
tell us what your
positions
opinions
down low. Like, did you agree with what we said? How do you feel if you are pro-black and you're watching this? Do you agree with what we said? What parts did you agree with? What parts did you disagree with?
Right.
And then if you are pro-black and this kind of opened up your eyes, talk about that as well. And then if you are one of those, because we actually like talking about this, we actually thought this was going to be liberating for people who are not quote unquote pro-black in the sense of just black, you know, black on this, black on that. We thought it was gonna be liberating because a lot of people don't speak up. Like, I know sometimes I use my platforms like this to kind of speak up on certain issues because I already know it'll be fire in my comments if I say certain stuff on Facebook. So, and not that I'm trying to run away from that, but you want to be able to put out your piece and not necessarily your truth, because I hate that people say your truth. The truth is absolute, but your opinion and stuff like that, it kind of gets criticized. So hopefully this was liberating for those who feel the same as we do about this topic, and you'll be able to share with others and be able to open up some eyes.
Yeah, we really want to make this platform open enough to have a discussion, like we said. And the only thing we ask, like, if anybody gets in the comments, just be tactful. Like, and even if y'all are talking to each other, just be respectful. Like, there's a way to say your opinion without like going off on somebody. Because on site, we can handle this on site.
And delete it.
On site.
And delete the comment.
Like, on site. And delete the comment. We will. Like,
of course.
I'm not scared to delete nobody's comments in 2019. Matter of fact, give me a reason. Like, that's liberating. That's liberating. So we really just want to make it a platform to where everybody can state their opinion and we can actually have a discussion, because y'all's perspectives can enlighten me and Drew. Like, there could be things that we're missing that it's like, dang, I ain't never thought about that. You know, maybe that's why this person is the way they are. So make sure y'all comment below and share this video. I feel like we need to get y'all to do that too, because like, it's a topic that is talked about a lot, and I don't just want it to be a conversation between a bunch of people that I already know, which I do want people that I already know to comment. Please comment.
I know people feel differently. I know some people feel differently. So everybody, you're Christian, not Christian, because we don't want this show, like, the reason why we're doing this different topics, we don't want to just be that normal Christian host type of vibe where it's just topics that you would expect coming from Christians, but I want non-Christians to be able to look at this and be able to feel enlightened and turn to Christ. But non-Christians be able to look at this and be like, okay, this was an educated view. They didn't try to just we're standing on our faith, but at the same time, we're looking at it from all sides. So this was Shaping the Culture, episode 2. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube. Be able to comment. I'm not gonna tell you what we want to average per viewership, but get the views up. Go view it. We get the views up. Subscribe, comment. Let us know what you guys think.
Share.
And until next time.
Wait, follow us on
Follow us on
Bro, alright, follow us on our links on the page. Follow us on IG. At Drew Muzan, at Malaika Denise.
Yes.
It's gonna be on the screen. Anything else?
Look out for the next episode. We'll probably make an announcement within the week whether or not we're gonna shoot again next week or on.
We should win sometime, bro.
Yeah.
After we eat, and after I stop coughing.
Yeah. So until next time.
We love y'all.
Peace.